Hello, hi everybody. This is a sound check. Can you hear me?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Testing. Who's there? Whew. Hi Ingrid, do you see us? Hi Kristen, do you see us? Say hi, please. Let us know in the comments. We're going through some tech challenges right now, and of course there is a delay. Okay, it looks like we're on.
Yay!
Hey guys, can you hear us? Irene's there, Shirley's there. Andriana's there, Lonnie's there, yes, Sally's there. We just want to do a sound check. Can you hear us? Yes, good. Oh yes, because last time I did a live video, it didn't work. Welcome everybody to the Brilliantly Sexy show with Devina Kaur, and today, week number 3, we have Charlie Freak all the way from Mexico. And just before we get started, I want to know where everybody's tuning in from. Tell us where you are, which part of the world are you in, and say hi. Loud and clear, everybody can hear us. Yes. In New Zealand. Oh, we're so glad this is working. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So welcome, Charlie. How's the week been going?
Busy, but lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
All good.
How many dogs this week? Did you get any new additions?
No, stop saying that. Thankfully.
Yes. We've got people from all over the world, and LMH says the mass capital of Canada. We need more laughter, guys. It's been such a hectic week, and thank you so much for joining, and we're so glad you're here. And Charlie Freak, before we go into the first song, any message for everybody who's here?
No, I really want to make this all about the questions. And so I'll address whatever anyone wants to ask during the show. So yeah, just want to get right to the questions. I think we've got some great guests again today, and I love the comment from Lonnie Gustafson, who was on the show with us last week. And Lonnie said, "Greetings from communist BC, Canada." Yeah.
So I just want to let everybody know that the comments go by so fast that we sometimes miss them. So please drop them again. Ask us your questions again. We're gonna do the best to reach out and answer as many questions as we can. And then this week we've gotten so many questions on email, and we're gonna try to address as many as possible. We also have guests, including Alpa Sony as well as 3C. And Galactic Greg's going to be there, as well as some new people today. So stay tuned. Lots of good things happening. And I'm so glad that we are doing this together as a community, as one family, because, oh boy, has it been a special week or what? So I want to know, how has everybody's week been? What's been going on that is extra special in your end? Let us know, please. And thank you, Charlie.
Yeah. Hey, listen, maybe Greg can speak to it, or Alpa can speak to it as well, but I haven't heard what Tucker Carlson allegedly said yesterday. So if anyone can bring us up to speed on his comments, that would be greatly appreciated, because I'm actually not really aware of it right now. We've been so busy since I did that live show yesterday. It's been nonstop. So yeah, bring us up to speed.
Yes, bring us to speed. And actually, this is a good point, Charlie, because there is just so many videos and so much information out there that we're not able to keep up. And in fact, Charlie, I didn't even get to watch your video from yesterday, so I apologize for that. But that's how it is between work and working from home. And I'm in Montreal, Canada, and our premier announced that we have 4 days between the holidays where we can see our family. And this is like tyranny, where they're telling us what to do, right? So it's like a little bit like, control, and they're seeing the system. And again, the politicians they don't work for the people, they work for the system. The system is trying to test us and see how far we're going to be pushed. And that's why we have to kind of like make sure that we are centered, calm, balanced, hanging out as a community as much as we can, sharing our light, which only comes from knowing who we are and what our gifts are, and knowing what our darkness is. So just a little bit before we get started. And so we're seeing a lot of the questions come in. Charlie, should we go to the show? Should we go to the song before, or do you have something else to add to that?
No, just everyone sort of, Sally was the original one. Hi, Sally. Sally was just saying originally about, was I aware of Tucker Carlson's attack on Sidney Powell? And so, no, I haven't heard it yet, but Sally and a few others are talking about it. So we'll sort of get to the bottom of it, because I know Tucker to be a good guy, and sort of being a plant at Fox. So we'll see sort of how this plays out here. But that press conference, that live press conference by Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, and I forget the name of the other younger lady who was there. She's fantastic, by the way. Wow. And that was a great press conference. So Tucker should not be saying anything negative with regard to that press conference. Sidney Powell was on fire. And by the way, everyone, did you notice? Devina might be able to find a shot of it during the course of the show today. But during the live press conference yesterday with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, Sidney was wearing like a very odd necklace. And so it was twofold, just so you know the symbology. I'm sure most of you noticed that the necklace was actually a hangman's noose. So you could see the noose for the hangman. And then the other thing is that beneath it was actually a chopping sword. So it's a two-handed sword, and the shape of that blade is for severing heads. So there was a lot of symbology in her necklace. So Sidney was wearing that on her neck, and it was a hangman's noose and then a beheading sword attached to it. So there was a lot of symbology in Sidney, and people were saying, she just sounded so nervous. I think probably what more of it has to do with her is that she becomes so animated and passionate. Her voice kind of probably just quakes like that a little bit when she becomes very, very passionate. And clearly she is, because she's obviously now read into everything and seen the depths of what they have done to subvert real freedom and this pursuit of democracy. So yeah, I think she was really angry yesterday. Obviously the necklace is a powerful indicator. So yeah, we'll look into it. And yeah, so if you want, we can just start with the song. I wanted to just call out this group, another one of these incredible artist groups that get little or no play, and they're so talented. The song is so beautiful. The lyrics are so poignant. And this is a group that Josh met. They're basically staying at the same place that Josh is in Portugal right now, in the Algarve. And it's a heck of a song, and they're wonderful folks. And we're going to have them live with us on that big December 21st show. So going to be great.
So how come I'm not subscribed to this? Because I subscribed to Josh X's video.
Yep.
In my country, they took all the land and they divided it up into prisons for lambs, and they chopped down the trees and they sprayed all the weeds so that nothing would grow except grass. And they chopped down the trees and they grow back. In my country, they killed all the wolves and they poisoned the rabbits and the badgers were cold, and there was nowhere to run for the wild animals because the cows and the lambs stood on divided up land with no trees to shade them at all. One day we'll watch it all fall. In my country, they call it a crime to plant seeds and feed them with water and light, for cannabis is illegal and they can lock you inside for growing herbs in your garden to heal your insides. It's time to speak out. In my country, they sell all the foods that the scientists say are bad for you, and on hospital wards they serve foods that can cause all the illnesses, death and disease. One day we'll get what we need. In my country, they say that God is a man. They say that woman was made from his rib by his hand. They say that God is a he, the creator of it all. And while the mothers of man gave birth to everybody on earth, all her books were burned, her stories never learned. In my country, they build all the bombs to sell to other countries that might right all the wrongs, because violence is heroic if the establishment says, and murder becomes legal when the army is paid to keep on killing babies. And it's all in our name, the capture and the rape and the genocide. Shame I shame. In my country, the people decided that they are much stronger when they're not divided. And they joined all their hands and they took back the land, and they taught all their children to see that everyone born should be free.
So beautiful. And wow, where do you find this music, Charlie?
And again, just a vibrational thing, right? Because this is Josh, where Josh is in the Algarve in Portugal right now, sort of set up right next to them in their traveling van is Mobius Loop, and these wonderful people, and Josh just was blown away by how authentic, beautiful, awakened, talented they are. And so that's kind of the thing. That's how it all works. This is that secret, and they only tell you a part of it and then lure you away from the truth. But there is a secret, and that secret is your vibration, because as Tesla said, everything is energy. So when you have that beautiful energy of giving, then you have to receive. This is the receiving that Josh gets by being a tireless warrior for the giving of God's creation and the protection of God's creation. That's who Josh X is. And this is what Colleen and I have dedicated our lives to. And this is at the heart of the book that I'm writing right now, furiously. And it is writing itself, and it is so good. This is the hieroglyphics of the English language, the journey of man from A to Z. This is that one story. Your alphabet from A to Z is a story. Every single letter is a story. Together, they make up the story of stories. And the story is essentially what you heard in that song. It is the biblical story. It is the story within all of these fables and allegories from ancient times and all of the ancient scriptures. There's one story. And it's the story that whether you're a man or a woman, we have to go on this journey. And this journey is this seeking of God, and that is within us. It's not without us. And everything about organized society is to draw you out. So again, think about the allegory within Godfather 3, Francis Ford Coppola, and the character of Michael Corleone. And Michael is trying to resurrect his life. He has a right, no matter how evil he's been, he has a right to resurrect his life. He tries to follow a righteous path and give away so much of his money for these various causes. He wants to get in control of Immobiliare, which is the largest landowner in the world and controlled by the Vatican Bank, the Jesuits, and they'll allow him to have the controlling share if he'll hand over $600 million to the Vatican church, and then of course all of it is a swindle. So in that movie, what you just see from Michael, and there's that famous line from Michael Corleone, and he says, "Every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in." And it's what Coppola is allegorically saying in his life, likely in that character, and for all of us. Every single time we think we're free of these demons, they pull us back in to their world. And their world is the out there world. And the only truth that exists is within you. There is a quotation. I just want to read it for you here. This is from Robert Browning. And this is what Robert Browning wrote about the truth. This is what Colleen and I share with you virtually every single day, every single show. Truth is within ourselves. It takes no rise from outward things. Whatever you might or may believe, there is an innermost center place in all of us. Truth abides in fullness in us, in this place. And organized religions and society have built the wall around us with the gross flesh of man that hems it in. And so that's the quote. And so essentially, what's being said here is that we see ourselves as the physical body and the physical realm. And everything about organized society, every single aspect is designed to pull you out and away from going within. And that's the only place where the truth rests. It rests within you. And remember what I teach all the time. Who lives inside of you? God, in his mercy seat at the background, right next door to Santa Claus. The Mother Mary is coiled up as like a serpent at the base of your spine in the Muladhara root chakra. And all she wants to do is rise up, uncoil and rise up to the Father in heaven upon earth. And Jesus Christ in the form of the chrism oil is within you as well. And Jesus is what is necessary to free Mary, and then Mary and Jesus rise together up into heaven. That's why in the biblical story, when Jesus arises from the tomb after 3 days, who's the only person who's outside, the only person that could possibly, and that's Mary. And that's because the magnetic mother, Mary, is necessary for us to rise, because we are the downward causation of electricity. We're positive and we are a downward causation, so we're constantly falling, and it's the mother that raises us back up, because she is magnetism, which is a scalar wave, which is that eternal 8, which is constantly rising up to heaven. And so that's this one story. That's what I'm writing, and it is so beautiful. And that song essentially is telling you that everything that is logical, everything that is free, everything that is freely given of the mother in celebration of the father is illegal. And instead, we live in a grotesque flesh suit ruled over by demons who have no mother in them, who have no father in them. And this is the reality that we live. We are ruled over by the left brain. The Canaanites of the left brain, of the Canaanites of the Holy Land, are the left brain, and that is the ego. And we found that movie that we've been looking for. I'll get Colleen to, I revealed it on our live show yesterday. I'll get Colleen to give me the name for it as well. But we found that movie, a Russian movie, about how one person was switched on and saw everyone as living with these massive tapeworms inside of them. And every time they interacted with organized society, the tapeworm grew bigger and bigger and more grotesque. And that's what he saw everywhere. Everywhere was a tapeworm, which is the ego of your left brain. So thanks for that, Devina. And Mobius Loop, they're going to be on our live show with Josh on the winter solstice, December 21st. And Josh is going to work it so that they're going to play us a live song on the winter solstice, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so make sure, guys, you are logged, you have registered for the event. The event is right now, we created an event on the Facebook page, and we're just working out my Facebook page, and we're just working out the details. So make sure that you have reserved the 21st of December for all of us to be together. It's a holy day. It's the official start of the age of Aquarius. Right, Charlie? And maybe this is, Charlie, you can tell us a little bit about the age of Aquarius. And as I understand it, that it comes around this change comes across every once in 26,000 years. And we happen to be here right now. We've chosen to be here. So this is such a holy time. Like, we're volunteers. Like, we want to go through this drama right now. So there must be a special reason. And you know what? Maybe like for many of us, we don't know why we're here. We don't know what we're supposed to do. But the fact that we are awakened, we understand the system, how broken the system is. That's a part of our healing as well. So, you know, our job is to heal ourselves, and through that we heal others, as just by being who we are, this divine light, and as I like to call it, sexy and brilliant. And Charlie, so
yeah, well, you know, the 26,000 year that you're talking about, to take us through the 12 stages of the constellations, we have to go through each of these stages or ages of the great year. And the great year is approximately 26,000 years. That's the macro cycle. But what I wanted to share with you is, you know, and Josh and I have been talking about this a lot, about the divine 3-day fast. And of course, in 3 days, it's 72 hours, which is 7 and 2 is 9, which is divine, the divine 9. And it's 7, which is God intervention, to the 9, which is God consciousness. So this is why the ancients always taught through the 3-day fast. And every time you have a 3-day water fast, or it can be a juicing fast, because it's pure, just as pure as water. And of course, it could just be a breatharian 3-day fast as well. When you do this, you are resetting the inside of you once again, and you are giving yourself an opportunity to start all over again. So this fasting is so important. This is why there is such a thing as day and night, and why there's such a lengthy period why we take no food, which, by the way, is also giving us this great opportunity to take no thought. This is the only peace of mind most people ever get. And of course, that's why they attack us in such a way so that people can't get into a deep sleep, and therefore they don't get that period, because they stay in a semi-awake state where they're dreaming. Remember, if you're dreaming, you're awake. If you're really, really, really asleep, if you've gone through the REM cycle and you're really asleep, you will not dream. You can astral travel. That's a wholly different thing, because that is playing out in the eternal moment. That is real. Astral traveling and projectioning is absolutely real, and that's what's happening to you, for you, in that eternal moment. Dreams are an illusion. Don't let anyone attempt to sell you differently on this. If you're dreaming a lot, and you see, I never dream. If you're dreaming in your sleep, it's because you're not really asleep. If you're dreaming, you're still partly awake, and it is the left carnal brain and that's why these dreams don't make sense. It's why you struggle to remember your dreams. Remember what I've been teaching you about your left brain, this dying brain, the 10% electrical circuit. It doesn't remember. Why do so many people reincarnate and they cannot remember anything of their past? There are so many people that don't even get deja vu moments in their 60, 70, 80 year recycling experience again. And the reason is because they've lived the past life in such an inert state, in such a state of fear, such a left brain condition. There is no memory of it. When you are righteous, when you cast thy net to the right, when you live in the right hemisphere of your brain, you won't forget. And that is the only way to ascend. And you can and you will ascend. And the ascending process is that this physical body does not have to die. If it does, because you have not completed all of the work, here's the gift that God gives you. When you start this process down the path that is straight and narrow, you see, that's why the allegory of the straight and the narrow path, because you get to a certain point and physically you can't turn around. That's the whole point of the straight and narrow path. It becomes so straight and so narrow, you can't turn around, and you wouldn't want to turn around. So all you can do is keep moving forward. So if you transition in this physical form, you will jump, or you will transition into an existing form. You will not go back to the baby who is a victim of their parents and the circumstances around them, who is just eternally forgetful, and you won't remember a thing. You will drop in. You are a drop in to someone who is choosing to leave, and you enter back in. So you see, because your path is not completed, and that exists because you started. So that's why, and this is like I was saying, I think a couple of weeks ago, about Charles Dickens and his story about Ebenezer Scrooge and the Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol has nothing to do with Christmas time. It has everything to do with Christmas time, which is the great reawakening, which is the resurrection of man, which can occur at any point. So it's never too late. It's never too late to start all over again. How many times have you heard that in a song? Because it's the truth. It's never too late to start all over again. And that's what he's showing and saying to the worst of us in Ebenezer Scrooge. And if Scrooge couldn't regenerate himself physically, he would be transitioning in as a drop-in in the next go, so that the journey can continue. And if that's how you have to do it in layers, then that's how it will be. And then these are the people who remember. These are the people who are the ones that are saying, hey, wait a minute, I've been here before. I remember. I'm having not just deja vu moments. No, I absolutely remember. And I actually remember who I was and where I was. And they attempt to go and find family, whatnot. This is the kind of thing that is very, very capable by doing the work. So you have to start doing this work. Once you start down this path that is straight and narrow, and you get to a certain point of meaningful work, then you will be given that gift from God, which is that there's no turning around. So that means that there's no full reset button back to the victim child who remembers nothing and is a victim of the family that they find themselves in once again. And this is very, very real. This is your reality. This is the truth of your reality. And this is why it's never too late to start doing this sacred work. And again, like Devina was saying, a lot of people don't even know why they're here and what their purpose is. Hey, you're here to go on this journey. And again, the book about the hieroglyphics of the English language is to teach you this journey. It's everywhere. It's in plain sight everywhere, because it's the thing. It's the thing that you're here to do. And the easiest, best, fastest way to get going on your journey and to ensure that you're successful with your journey is to help others. You see how that works? Because here's the secret. This is the secret. You reap what you sow. So if you sow love and care and compassion and giving, then your reward is built into the work that you do. And that's the receiving. Because you see, everything is the yin and the yang. Everything is the 6 and the 9, and you are the 3. 3, 6, and the 9. 3, 6, 9, as Tesla said, which is, again, this mother, the child, and the father, and this universal holy trinity that is the essence of what we are. So the rewards in your life are built on the work that you do. So when you give, what should I do? Don't worry about a job. Don't worry about money. Give yourself over to God and God's creation, and give. And in return, you shall receive in the most amazing ways. And isn't that, folks, follow me here. Isn't that absolutely the best way, the absolute best way to live? You have no control over your financial affairs. You care not about your financial affairs. You just know. You know with certainty that you'll never exist in lack, because you live a life in abundance of abundantly serving all those that require your assistance, your help. And again, that is all of God's sentient creations, not just the beautiful mankind, but all of God's sentient creations. And so when you live a life in service to others, ye shall receive, and ye shall know what it means to receive these highest gift, which is the manna from God. And manna is not food. Manna is not solid. Manna is a metaphysical reality, which is grace, wisdom, and perfection. And that is God thought. Take no thought for your life, said Jesus Christ so many times, because it is the essence and basis to everything. So why are you here? What do you need to do? Start helping others. Don't need a job. You don't need to worry about your money. Restructure everything and just start helping others. And in days, watch how things start to come back to you. Now, that's not why you do things. But I guarantee it will happen. And the reason is because the rewards in this world are built into the work that you do. And when you let go about caring about how and what will come back to you, or what will it look like? Gee, I hope it's a red Jag. That would be really nice, God, or a brushed metal Mercedes. God, that would be really, really nice. 25 pounds of apples. Come on, God, you can do better than that. Come on, give me something better than a bag of apples. don't collapse the wave function. And when you just allow, then and you'll find that God has such a sense of humor, it'll blow you away. And that's, Colleen knows this. I spend so much of my day laughing at the most amazing things that come to me. And most of them are hilarious because it's God sort of playing with sort of who I am and my innermost thoughts and whatnot, and something that passes across my radar in one moment, then suddenly the next day it shows itself up in something, and it's just hilarious. God is such a kidder. He's such a joker. He has such a sense of humor. It's incredible. So the gifts, you just can't imagine what they are, and they're miraculous. That's why you're here. You're not here for any other purpose. And when you begin to exist through helping others, you begin to rise, because you will be filled with light, not matter, where everything matters. And when you matter and everything matters and matters and matters, then you fall to your uncles, the Egyptian Ankhs, which are your uncles, which ground you to the earth. The whole point of this thing is to rise up into the right. Up into the right is the right hemisphere of your brain. I'm sorry, it's the truth. Everything is an allegory for the left dying brain and the right wholeness of God's creation. All you have to do is, and it costs a fee. It costs a fee to get into the right hemisphere of the brain, and that's 10%. And that's the 10% tithing. And you just say to God, I'm tired of screwing up. I'm tired of thinking. I am tired of this ugly, ugly world, and I give up. I'm gonna trust in you. Well, let's just see where this thing goes. That's what I did, and this is the thing. I'll never ever go back. I'll never ever fall. It's impossible, because once you make this connection, you're walking on air, and then who do you meet? You just meet all of these incredible people, all of you. Just looking at, again, all of the names that are coming up here, you're real, and we've never met you, but you are so real and so alive inside of Colleen and I, and you give us so much joy, so much happiness. These are the gifts. This is the realness of the treasure of that God gives. And to have Devina come into our lives, and to have Devina as our friend, again, the rewards are built into the work that you do. Devina, back over to you.
I think I'm about to start bawling, Charlie. I'm so sorry, but that was just so beautiful, because like many of you may not know this, but Sexy Brilliant happened because of me overcoming an addiction. So this is really, and all my life I was looking for something. And it was hard. I've gone through so much, like everybody's story. We go through so much because the system is designed in such a way that we are meant to be broken, so that, we lose all our power. We have no faith. We don't know who we are. We are lost. And that was who I was. I had an arranged marriage, and when my marriage ended, I fell into an addiction. So we've all got these stories, but the thing is, how we overcome them is what is really important. It's easy to stay in that flow of the flow. It's harder to be a critical thinker. It's harder to say, I want to be different. I want to support Trump because he speaks to my heart. So this is where we all are, and I know many of us are going through this, and many people from the Sexy Brilliant community have reached out, and of course Charlie's people have reached out, and we're all going through this right now. So I just want to say something, that whoever out there is looking for a purpose, just remember, both you and your purpose are looking for each other. It truly is. And your purpose doesn't have to be grand like Charlie's or Sexy Brilliant. It could be just being taking care of cats. It could just be, being watering plants to your neighbor's house, building your community around you. Everything comes from self-knowledge. So access those Akashic records, access all that information that you can about yourself. And today I'm going to try to share some tools that I've used to create all of this business. I mean, I used to be a full-time dog walker, and look at where I am today. So, so we all have these things. None of us know what to do next, but just by showing up as who we are, miracles happen, magic happens all the time. So thank you for that. Like, I feel better just speaking and I'm not crying anymore. So, my goodness. And Charlie, can we please ask our communities to share this video and tag their friends? I know many people will benefit from it. So please give us, tell us a little bit about why it's important that we share this work.
Yeah, well, this is the grassroots. And this is, by the way, this is exactly what Trump and the Q team want. That's why Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has angered a lot of very famous people, because a lot of famous people are going, hey, wait a minute. I'm famous and I'd like to support you, but you're not giving me an ear. You're not giving me time. And it's like, don't you know who I am? And the whole point of this from Donald Trump and the Q team, John F. Kennedy Jr., is that no, where this works is where we go one, we go all. And the all are the grassroots. And this has to be a grassroots movement. So when you see these warriors that are surging to the forefront of this movement of spreading this truth, like Devina, like Al Pasoni, like Galactic Greg, it is just so empowering when you see these people just rise and rise and rise, and then the genius that is flowing from all of you. It's incredible. It's incredible. It truly is. You're warriors of God. And that's how ultimately all of this is going to work, is through all of you becoming the selfless warriors of God. It's so righteous. It's so beautiful. And then we go through this together. We bring each and every one of us along for the ride, along for the journey. So, and somebody, I just missed the name and I'm so sorry, but thank you. She was just saying that Jenna Ellis is the third party on the live presentation from Rudy Giuliani, Sydney, and it was Jenna Ellis. And Jenna Ellis, oh my Lord, I didn't really know much about her, and boy, did she blow me away. She's just so smart and so passionate, so alive. And yeah, she really blew me away. So that was that live show. If you haven't seen it, you can just go into YouTube. You'll find it really quickly, easily. And it's just a live press conference, about an hour and a half between Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and Jenna Ellis. And all three of them were great. Rudy's hair was bleeding. I don't know what's up with that, Rudy. If your hair is gray, just let it be gray, my man. But Rudy's hair was bleeding. But other than that, everyone was fantastic.
That reminds me, just before COVID happened, I stopped dyeing my hair, applying hair dye to my hair. And my hairdresser got mad at me. She's like, Oprah dyes her hair. You should continue dyeing your hair. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But the pressure that we feel from outside, my goodness, it's like there's so much pressure. My mother tells me, you know what? If you stop dyeing your hair, I'm going to have to stop dyeing my hair too. So we are teaching our parents, and our job, and I just read a message here. Somebody said, how do we get our friends on board? Our job is to work on ourselves. Me first, so that is you first, and after that, it's everybody else around you. So this is very, very important. You keep doing your work, whether it is listening to Charlie Freak, whether it's listening to Donald Trump, or whoever you are aligned with, and grow from there. And then when you are walking your path, which by the way is very hard work, but you know what? It's the right thing to do. And when you're walking your path, the right people will find you. You're going to start making new friends. You're going to find more people who are encouraging you, and you're going to find ways of making money or providing for yourself so that you are always in the flow of life. And that is what we want at Sexy Brilliant. And I just want to mention something, that I am a published author of a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. And this book is actually, it's available for free just today, my birthday month special today. It's available for free on Amazon Kindle, so make sure you read that. Download it right now and read it whenever you can. Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious is available for everybody. And it's a spiritual self-help workbook based on the trademarked KAUR process, which K, that's my last name. And it stands for, can you see that, Charlie?
Sure can.
Yeah, and the last name stands for, K stands for self-knowledge, A stands for acceptance, and U starts for unlearning. And we've discussed this last week. Unlearn everything that you know to be true, because that's all fakery. That's a system that's designed to keep us at a low frequency.
Yeah, just to go through again through the root of all of this from the ancients. That's what the book that Josh and I are writing on, the hieroglyphics of the English language. If you look at it again, K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, and that is the mass star number. So if you look at the shape of the letter K, what do you see? You see the spine of the child upright, because we are upright and righteous. And then above and going up and to the right is the line that connects us to our Holy Father. And down into the right is the line that connects us to our Holy Mother, and it's the Holy Trinity. And by the way, look where they meet, in the exact center, innermost spot, which would therefore be, like the representation of the third ventricle of the brain. So that's why the letter K, which is the 11th letter, the number 11, that's why 11 is the master number. And that's why so many people get the message of seeing 1111 when the power goes off and suddenly their alarm clock is flashing. That's what happened to me so many times that I went, wait a minute, this is a freaking message. I did some research and I was like, oh my God, 11 is God. Oh my God, wow. And so that's it, 1111. And those are the two temples, temple of the body and the mind, or these two temples. And in the middle of it is you, which is your piece of God consciousness, the 9, and that's your soul right here. So that's 911. That's 911 is right here. And that's what they did on 9/11. Okay. So when you look at Devina's last name, K is the Father, is the master number, is the perfect balance, the truth of truth, which is the Holy Trinity between the Father, the Mother, and the creation of the child. So that is knowingness, that is knowledge, as Devina says, because that is the knowingness that everything is in perfection with the Father and the Mother and the child, the Trinity. And then A is the Alpha. So the acceptance, absolutely, again, the acceptance, because you're accepting the one, which is the creator of all, and that's coming home. So the knowledge of the creator, Ka, and then the unlearning, as Devina said, is by all the ancients, the U is eucatastrophe. And the eucatastrophe comes, eucatastrophe is the opposite of catastrophe. So that's the brilliance of eucatastrophe. And how do you have a eucatastrophe? When you unlearn the lies, and then you're ready to accept the truth, which is the K and the A. So the K and the A lead you to unlearn the lies, and then it finishes with R. And what is R? R is R for rising. We are the risen man, and we rise up into heaven upon earth when we unlearn the lies and we seek the truth of the K and the A. Kaur is it's the truth. It's the truth, and it's that one story. So you see how all of these names, none of them are accidental. All of these names came from beautiful people. The English language is beautiful. The cabal, these evil ones, remember, they're the left brain. They have no creativity. They don't create anything. They steal God's creation. They twist it upside down and they turn it to evil, but it's not. And that's how, remember what Colleen said 2 weeks ago? Colleen said, and I'm not going to let that happen. We're taking back our symbology. We're taking back our numerology because they're God's numbers. They're God's numbers. They've used them for evil purposes. And by the way, that's why Q says all the time that symbology will be their downfall, because they use it the wrong way and it sticks out like a sore thumb. That's how you can tell what they're going to do, or announcing what they've done, because it sticks out like a sore thumb, because they've taken the truth and twisted it upside down, and that's all they do. So once again, when we tell you that the earth has never ever once moved, guaranteed, no, the Father is stillness and silence. The Father is stillness and silence. The Bible, there's 100 passages that tell you that the Father is stillness and silence. The earth is never moved. It's protected by a firmament. You have nothing to worry about. You are protected in every single moment. You live a sheltered life within this realm of infinite possibilities. So you have nothing to worry about. Everything has been taken care of. It's the exact opposite of what they've taught for 100 years. Nikola Tesla believed in the things that I'm sharing with you. Albert Einstein didn't. So which side you gonna be on? There's some hard truths that are gonna come out in the coming months and the coming years, and you just need to be centered, balanced, to be able to withstand the temptation to collapse when you hear these things, because they lie. That's all they do is lie. There is no truth. There's no truth. Yeah, Charlie, you're right. They lie about so much stuff, but clearly they're not lying about that the earth is round and it's a ball and it's spinning. Yeah, they are. Remember, who's their God? Ball, B-A-A-L, and they've turned us from a flat, infinite, stationary plane to a ball, B-A-L-L, and their God is B-A-A-L. And what is their God known for? He's the deceiver. And how does he deceive? He turns the truth upside down. And that is the truth about this Phoenician Canaanite god of Baal. So yeah, there's so much incredible stuff coming. Be prepared for it. And that's, like Devina said, by being righteous, casting that net to the right.
Yeah, by knowing yourself. And Charlie, what's wrong with me today? Am I just too emotional? Who else is feeling emotional? I want to know from our audience, how are you guys doing? How has the week been? Let us know. It's been very, very busy this end. And Charlie mentioned he's been very busy as well. So make sure you're taking care of yourself, self-love, self-care. When we are full and complete in our own divinity, meditation, stillness and silence, like Charlie says, that's when we have access to what's meant for us.
Yep. Instantaneous.
Quicker. Thank you, Charlie. So, wow, that was beautifully explained. Kaur. And once again, this book is available for today only, free on Kindle ebooks.
One thing I just want to quickly interject. Devina was just saying how she really identifies with Donald Trump. Something I want to share with all of you. Colleen and I, now there's a lot of characters that are involved in this whole Q Trump movement and stuff, but Colleen and I want to share this with you. We identify the most with Donald J. Trump. We love and connect with Donald J. Trump and his energy. And when it's like I always say to people, the greatest thing that I could watch is like watching an episode of Bill Donahue. Bill Donahue just teaching this beautiful truth of the Christ within us, how Jesus is so real, but Jesus is so real inside of us, and how amazing it is. I could watch those forever and never grow tired of watching that. And it's the same thing. And again, a lot of Santos Bonacci, what Santos teaches, so poetic. It's so brilliant. But when Donald Trump speaks all of these speeches, and he, in front of these rallies, I'm going to miss those. I'm going to miss all of those election rallies in Pennsylvania and whatever else. He's so relaxed up there. He's so relaxed, and he's at ease, and he's just sharing, these wonderful things. We resonate the most with Donald J. Trump. Some of the characters that and I'm going to be really honest about this. Some of the characters that the Q team puts out there, which we would say would be John F. Kennedy Jr. Some of the roles, like 107, can be really abrasive at times, because that's the point. They're reaching out to a certain type of person, and each of them sort of play different roles, and they reach different people and different backgrounds, because they're trying to bring everybody in to the where we go one, we go all. And so he's playing different roles, but a lot of them don't actually resonate with Colleen and I, who literally, honestly, through the work that we've done, have literally become so pure in that essence. Hope that that came across correctly. But just because our thoughts have become just so from God and so pure, that a lot of that stuff doesn't resonate. And when we listen to Donald Trump, it resonates. Even when it sounds like he's just talking about gibberish, it resonates with us. There's a real connection between, and Devina's saying the same thing.
Hi, Charlie. So thank you so much for that. And this week I read something, I think it was Galactic Greg who posted, who said, he gave a list of all the IQs of all the past presidents, and Donald Trump's IQ was the second from the top, and it was at 156 points. And the quote said, "If you don't understand what he says, it's because his IQ is so high." So it just made me laugh, and I was like, "Wow, what was it?" And maybe that's what it is. That there's a lot of coding that's going on.
Yeah. The only thing I'd call a little BS on that list, because it had George Walker Bush above 1, and I just have a hard time believing that his IQ is above 1. I'm just saying.
Did you notice that there was no Obama on that list?
Barry Soetoro and his boyfriend Michael. Boy, you don't think that's going to knock people down to their uncles and just timber? Oh, I love Barack Obama, greatest president ever. He won a Nobel Peace Prize. What? He was married to a dude? How did I miss that? Yeah. Michael's a dude.
Well, it's also, there's just so many lies. I mean, like none of these, and I just want to remind something. The fight is not about Democrats versus Republicans, because as you know, George, the Bush family is, the same team as Donald Trump, but they were still not working for us. They were working for the system. So this is very important to know that, we're not here to choose between sides. We're here for the truth. And the truth is that the system is broken, and we have to work through that. And as we go into the age of Aquarius, once in 26,000 years, it's changing. The constellations are changing now. We're going to be celebrating that big. Make sure you are reserving the date 21st of December 2020. The event's up on Facebook, and we'll be sharing it in the notes as well. And then before we move on to the next segment, I just want to remind everybody that Charlie and Colleen's the Shire Sanctuary PayPal is back up, right, Charlie?
that's another. We mentioned it on air, I think, here, right? Didn't we? And yes. Somebody heard, and just incredibly, because we couldn't get through to PayPal, and it wouldn't accept an email from us. We couldn't phone them. There was just and it was approaching a month, and that's all access of our revenue. The books that we sell. So everything was being denied access to it, and we just said, we know it'll work out. It's happening for whatever reason. It's all good. And then we mentioned it on air, and then miraculously, PayPal just suddenly, that they never said anything. Just this restriction link was taken away, and Colleen's like, is it going to go through at midnight tonight? and it did. And so we're all back going, PayPal, they're just so great, probably just doing it to help us, so probably.
Well, it's so make sure that you are sharing whatever you can, $2, $5, $1, 30 cents, it doesn't matter, whatever you can, $100, $500, everything. Money's just an energy, and if Charlie's sharing energy with you today, make sure that you're paying it back in the best of the way you can, and it's a fair energy exchange.
Yep.
So good, wonderful. I'm so glad, and obviously lots of questions, lots of we're just going to start the second half of our show, and we have a few people. Charlie, are we ready for questions on air?
Do it.
Yeah. So, hi, Andreana.
Andreina. Oh, my mic is muted.
No, I just unmuted you.
Oh, hi. Andreina. Hi.
Adrena.
Hi,
Adrena.
Devina. How are
Thank
you?
you so much for coming.
It's
on.
so.
It's so honored to serve.
Hi. Do you see me well?
Yes.
Yes, and you're so beautiful, and your eyes are so filled with life. I love that. The eyes
Wow.
eyes are the windows to the soul, so it's beautiful.
Thank you so much, Charlie. You have no idea how much that means to me, and how being here right now is such in alignment. I just had an epiphany before, so yeah, maybe I'll tell you later about it. But thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. Thank you, Devina, and I'm looking forward to these conversations that we're about to start having now.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you. And Andreina messaged me on Instagram, and she's like, I just found Charlie. Andreina.
I can say so. It's in French, Andreina. In Spanish, Andreina. In English, Andreina. So whichever resonates better with you.
Guys, I'm sorry. It's my.
Oh, my phone just died. Oh my gosh.
So I apologize
this
for
is not
that.
happening right now. I'm not
Actually,
gonna allow this to happen.
But Alpha is here as well. So thank you so much, Alpha.
Hey guys, how are you? Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Alpha, and I want to say thank you so much, Alpha, for the incredible work that you've been doing. Just incredible. You're on par with the Galactic one. You and Galactic Greg have been tearing it up. Thank you, Alpha, and it's such incredible work too. Incredible.
Thank you, Charlie. It's just like I see myself as a Facebook assassin at the moment, you know. With Galactic Greg, you know, he's there as like, if I've missed something during the day, because obviously I work full time, and you know I'm trying to keep up with this, and it's quite a journey, hey, real journey. But you know, as long as we're smiling and enjoying ourselves along the way, hand in hand, and in that unity consciousness that I'm always talking about, which is just fabulous. And I always can rely on Galactic Greg just to keep me abreast of stuff, because he's always tagging, you know, very nicely, tagging me on everything. So, you know, we're keeping in tune with everything. But yeah, what a week. This week's been amazing. Every week's amazing. It's just getting better and better.
Beautiful. And hey, listen, during the course of your thoughts today, both to you and Greg, and hi, Greg, listen, guys, if you want to fill me in a little bit, if you think something's happening with regard to the comments on Fox about Sidney Powell, you know, if you think there's a backstory to that from Tucker, just please fill me in. Let me know.
Okay. Can everyone hear me, first of all? Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on. Okay. And, you know, we're just kind of, I just want to clarify something. I might have missaid something, and I apologize to that. English is not my first language. So we are, you know, we don't shame people for being who they are. We encourage everybody to shine in their brilliance and in their darkness. So just a reminder to everybody, we're all volunteers here, and everybody has jobs and other things that they do. So please be kind, be respectful. It's all about love, and we love you too. So thank you so much for that.
All right. Well, I was catching up on the Tucker Carlson incident myself, Charlie. So I was able to skim through a few articles and kind of discern what was said and what was exchanged. And from what I gather, the story is that Tucker Carlson was pressing Sidney Powell and wanted to do a 1-hour piece with her based on all this election fraud. Okay, so let's give you the floor. You want to give us all the info. I'm going to give you the floor and give you the chance to prove all this. So in between all that, or previous to all that, him and his team were constantly contacting Sidney Powell and basically begging for this information so that, you know, it could be forwarded to them so they can get the piece together or whatnot. So they kept badgering her. She wasn't responding. And then after the 12th time, interestingly enough, the number 12, she basically said, leave me the bleep alone. and I'm just coming on the show. I'm not giving you the information. So with that, Tucker got, obviously would be upset, because he didn't have the information presented to him after asking 12 times. So he basically went after her on the show and basically, put her out there and said that you have presented absolutely no evidence. We've asked you time and time again. And yeah, you're saying all this stuff, but again, it's baseless because you didn't provide us with anything. All right. It's not holding any water because you didn't provide us with the glass or the water. Okay. So look, in my deepest understanding, I also read the article that Tucker posted on this, because he writes articles on every interview that he does. He writes his overview and gives his his opinion. I skimmed through the article, and from what I can tell, Tucker is walking, and I want everyone to pay attention to this very, very closely, because I'm going to get into, you're going to see where I'm going with this with a false flag. Okay, so I'm going to put that out there right now. But Tucker Carlson, from what I have read in that article, is walking a very, very, very thin and fine line right now. If you read the article in depth on his overview, he's basically telling you this is going on without telling you this is going on. Okay, he's giving you essentially, he's throwing some bones here and there without giving you the entire skeleton, essentially. So he's giving you some nuggets here and there, and he's basically admitting the fact that our democracy is under attack by unknown or foreign oddities. But again, we need the proof to be, dropped in front of us. So again, knowing Tucker and knowing who he is and knowing his place in all this, my understanding is, and especially when reading the back and forth between him and Sidney Powell, I truly believe that, especially now that we're in the crux of all this, we're basically in the I don't want to say in the meat of it all, but we are in the meat of it all right now, that we need to prepare ourselves for some false flags. I think that this little spat between him and Sidney Powell is a staged hissy fit. I think this is one of those things where it's like, we're going to do this over here while we're actually doing this over here. It's another distraction. I truly understand this to be a false flag because I know Tucker, and he gets upset with things and, whatnot, but this clearly, to me, even after just skimming over it, there were just some key things that just, hit me. And this is definitely a false flag. I think this is definitely a staged hissy fit between the two of them. They're doing something else, and this is a distraction for that something else that they're doing. So I'm just going to put that out there and maybe put everyone's mind at ease, and to also be very aware that as we continue to go forward, that there will be many, many more. But keep in mind that they are also designed in such a way so that certain very secret aspects of this plan can be carried out without any interruption. So just wanted to say that, and I'll toss it to Alpa if she has anything to say on that or her thoughts on that.
Hey, yeah, you've raised some really good points there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I just wanted to add to that. I think this is demonstrating, though, that everything's taking place the legal way and the proper way. Just because Tucker's asked Sidney Powell to divulge that information, this has to go through the legal routes, right, Charlie? It has to all go through, the proper channels, and it's demonstrating to us, the media, and it's showing us how we have to do things the proper way. So just because the media is kind of like has been asking her, well, Tucker in this instance, has been asking her to divulge the information with proof. Until it doesn't go through the legal channels, she's showing us the right and correct way to do this. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add to that.
Yeah, I think so very much. And remember that the prize to all of this, you have to know this. The prize to all of this is the mainstream media. They are what must go down. They are what must go down. So to see, listening to Greg and really connecting with what he's saying, yeah, it makes sense that this would come through, Tucker Carlson, especially because of what's happened to Fox. And remember, the Q team has really spent this past week pointing out how much Fox has plummeted in the ratings since election night, since they showed themselves. So it makes actually kind of a lot of sense here. The prize to all of this is the bringing down of the mainstream media. They are the ones who are so responsible for us being divided, scattered, leaderless, at each other's throats. They are some of the worst demons in all of this, because they absolutely know what they're doing. There's nobody in this leftist, liberal, pseudo-liberal, communist media platform. There's none of them that they think they're doing God's work, and they just got caught up in it. They're just all evil, and they know this, and they have to go down. And so what Alpa's saying, and yes, this has to go through the Supreme Court, because for 80 to 90% of these liberals that are still left out there, that are good Americans, that are honestly thinking that the Democratic Party is trying to help and make a difference, when they hear it, when they hear all of this and see all of this released through the Supreme Court, there's no place for them to run. That's the highest court of the land. It's been, and the way that judges go into this Supreme Court has been done, right or wrong, it's been done the same way since it all began. So there's no place for them to run. The cash cow in all of this is that the mainstream media has to collapse. When they collapse, the lies stop, because we won't be getting any lies from any other source. So that's my spidey sense, is just saying there's just no way that this could happen. So there has to be another purpose to it. So thanks, Greg.
That was a big clarification, and I know we're getting a lot of messages here on Facebook. We're streaming on Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, which is Twitter. And everybody who's on Twitter, make sure that you are tweeting to the real Donald Trump, because we want him to see that he's got soldiers, digital soldiers, who are doing this together as a community. We're all volunteers. So retweet, share as much as you can, tag your friends, because that is how we grow as a community and how the good is taking over very slowly, but we are there. And when the bad goes down, we ain't going down with them. So just so we know. And then everybody who's been doubting Tucker, and Tucker is a good guy. Like, look at his energy. He's the only one who makes sense on the TV, right? Greg, thank you so much for that. And Alpa, really appreciate that. Charlie, always a genius. So what can we say? Thank you. So
just so much great stuff that's going out there. And of course, the stuff that Rudy started with is just overwhelming stuff, just overwhelming stuff. And I really loved how Rudy was really in his element and just laying the heels to Philadelphia, and not, and again, not the people of Philadelphia, but the infrastructure of this unholy city. The demons have been in control of places like Philadelphia for a long time. And the stuff that's been happening in Philadelphia alone, it was just incredible. And then, Sydney came on, and then she furthered the election fraud and the depths of the election fraud. And, you know, by the time that Jenna Ellis came on, it was just wow, the depths that they went. And again, one of the reasons, folks, that this is so complex this time around is because they had the potential back in 2016 for this complexity. They didn't use it because they didn't think they had to use it. They were so confident that Hillary would win. So all they did is the same thing that Joe Biden did in this election, which is with Hillary, is that they infused a whole dump of false votes that would be more than enough to give her the victory. But the thing with these votes, they didn't want to give her too much because then it would look completely fake. So they had to be careful. So they gave her an amount that would ensure the victory and not look like it was faked. And they lost. They lost because in 2016, people resonated with what Donald J. Trump was saying. And then this time around, holy smokes, he had the whole world on the edge of their toes one way or another. And there was an energy going into that week of the election, and that the amount of people that showed up and turned out in the American election for Donald Trump is amazing. And come on, this is not hard for any of you to accept or understand that virtually nobody showed up for Joe Biden, just like during the election run, nobody showed up for that worthless piece of dung, whatever that is at this point. But Trump, oh my God, did he have it going on? And again, the stuff that's coming out about California, oh, it makes my heart sore. It makes my heart sore. Greg and I talked about this last show as well. You know, find just this truth. And then, and by the way, something that came to us this week was when we were talking with someone and about, you know, Europe and about the UK. And they were talking about Brexit and the involvement to allow Brexit to occur and everything that went down. And then I mentioned the Scottish plebiscite because my father's side of the family are Scottish, way back Scottish. And I know a little bit about the Scots. And if they were given a real free chance to get the FUCK out of the UK, they would have done it. They would have done it. So when the vote came back and said that they didn't vote to leave, you know, that's BS. That is absolute BS. And then the response we got back was, yep, and it's bigger than that. So it's just fraud everywhere. And they've been using the same software, the same machines, and the same process everywhere. Back over to you guys.
And thank you so much for that. You know, it's important to know, and Charlie mentioned it somewhere as well, that he used to be, he didn't understand what was going on, he thought, and then 2016, he started watching Donald Trump, and that's when he realized that there's something right in it, and that righteousness comes from your connection to the divine, to, you know, understanding that we are all divine beings having this human experience. So none of us are wrong. People who think that Biden is the right choice, or so is Kamala Harris, they're coming from their own level of consciousness. So our job is not to get angry at them, but really to look at these people with empathy, because we were once there and now we know so much better. So it's very important, compassion and kindness. Thank you, Alpha.
You know, I just wanted to extend on what Charlie was saying about this software and being exposed, and in all the countries now, and in Germany, in the UK, in Australia, they've been using this same software. How genius is this to actually expose and be a catalyst to now start the domino effect of, you know, exposing all the corruption? And when I found out on Sunday, nothing surprises me, but I was in awe. I was like, genius, this executive order in 2018, in September the 13th in 2018, he's placed this executive order. And we've been operating, the elections have been happening under this national emergency. And it is the start, the catalyst to expose everything, Charlie.
Yeah. And what they're saying, Alpa, is Christmas time. I was sort of preparing for a much later date than that, but there apparently is going to be a real, and so that would be them opening doors and allowing this free flow, not creating this energy of the great revelation, but to allow this great energy to be free and flow. That's what they're saying, is that we're going to literally see a domino effect across Europe, Alpa. We're making my heart soar when you were saying that. I know, and it's absolutely genius. So the Americans did it first. The Americans laid it out on the line, and now everyone's going to go, I call bullshit on all of this stuff. And then UK, and then France, and then Italy, and then Germany, and then boom, 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 boom. And there's your earth-wide freedom.
It's amazing. And so many people, Charlie, just a quick point, are asking me and private messaging me. And I've had this all sort of like over the last 3-4 months as to why I'm paying so much attention. In fact, I know more what's going on in the US than I am even paying in the UK, paying any attention to the UK. But it is so important for me and for all of us to realize what happens in the US is going to be the catalyst of what happens everywhere else in the world, to expose the 7 months of all of us revealing these truths, saying there's going to be arrest and this is going to happen and that's going to happen. It's all coming to fruition now. And I'm just so excited. I just think the whole thing's really like brilliant.
Greg, go, Greg.
Yes. This is just absolute brilliance. If we can call BS for this election, and everyone in Europe can call BS for their elections for this election, how many other elections can we call BS for? I mean, going back to you, Charlie, it's all been a lie. Everything's been a lie. Here's something else too. Do you think Obama got in there fairly? That's going to be an illusion that's going to blow everybody's mind. Nobody has gotten in there fairly. I mean, the real question is, when we get to the end of this and we've, officially said, hey, look, this one's a fraud and Europe's a fraud, how far back is this going to go? How far back is this going to go? And that's when the pain is going to start, because that is years and years and years of just absolute lies. People have put their faith and trust in so many people, and these people were not only what they said they were. Yeah, and the Clintons too. Yeah, they never got in legally either. There's nothing legal about anything Clinton. Please, even the name shouldn't be legal. We should ban that name when this is all said and done. It shouldn't even be in the English language. That name should just be banished. Absolutely. But the biggest thing about all this is that how far does this go back? And I can tell you right now, it goes back a ways, everybody, a ways, a very, 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 very long ways. So, I'm going to reiterate what Charlie said. Everyone needs to really, really prepare their hearts, minds, and souls for this, because this is not just this election, and this is not just Europe's election. It goes back, Titanic. It goes back years, decades.
So look at this. What a genius, conniving mind that they've had, that they've manipulated the reality of the reality of the reality. That's what it is. And we have to be so smart and so clever in healing, because this trauma, if it's taken them hundreds of years of causing trauma, it's going to take us hundreds of years of healing. So the quicker we heal, and by the way, everybody who's here, all of you guys who are watching, you are the light. You are the healers. So understand that, understand that. It's all about knowing who you are. There's always going to be darkness, and it's always going to test you, and you have to shine beyond that, and you have to keep beaming your light and being authentic and being the change that the universe is waiting for. So, having said that, Charlie, Alpa, yes?
about this executive. I just want to add something about this executive order. There's just something that I'll read out to you guys. It's saying what people are missing in all of this is that Trump's executive order gives the DOJ the power to seize all the assets of individuals and companies, right, that were complicit in aiding the covering up of this foreign interference in the US elections. This is so important, guys, to realize what this means. Because if you go back to Charlie's very first video with Mark, the podcast with Mark Devlin, when he says that everyone's capitulated, everyone has, this is actually more intricate details telling you just how. So it goes on to saying the national emergency order specifically calls for seizure of all assets of entities that have directly or indirectly engaged in sponsored, concealed, or otherwise been complicit in foreign interference in the US elections. Think about what we're saying here, indirectly and directly. So everything that's happening in the media, they're showing themselves up. Everyone that's supporting Biden, they're showing themselves up. They have to. This is a movie being played. And that to be able to seize everyone's assets, people who are directly and indirectly involved. I mean, bingo, look how intricate this is and how it's like a game of Super Bowl. Like he's just got them all in one go, like just by this executive order. Can you?
Yes. It's resonating what you're saying, and such a brilliant plan that none of us would have thought that this would be possible. But it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's been happening for so long. So, here we are.
And the U.S. Treasury, just so everybody knows, U.S. Treasury is overflowing with real wealth. It is overflowing. And what Trump has been doing is he has been getting, so all of this has been playing out in every other country as well, behind the scenes. And so all the treasuries across this earth have been filling back up with real value, real wealth, which has all been taken off the backs, the sweat equity and the intellectual property of us. So it's all going back into these sacred coffers that are going to be used for good, not evil now. And so, again, there is a plan. Everybody knows that you have had to struggle since March. This has been hell on earth for a reason, for many reasons. It needed to be hell on earth, but they know what Christmas means to people. They know that it's coming up around the corner and their coffers are full. They're full. But again, how do you block Donald Trump from trying to help the average individual? Well, you have Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats control the House. And if they control the House, then it's filibuster. And unless he's constantly just steamrolling over them with executive orders, then it isn't going to happen. And so one of the big things, remember on election night, everyone, when I came on the air and I said to everyone, remember, the key is going to be the 3-0 shutout. Gretzky, Lemieux, and Gordie Howe, all three score, and the righteous team wins 3-0. And that's it. So it has to be the president, it has to be the Senate, and it has to be the House, right? You can't have treason without the Senate. Can't have treason without the Senate. It's an allegory. And so you have to control these three bodies, because what you do is you put an end to filibustering, and therefore you get direct action. And that's what people want. That's what people need. That's what's coming.
Thank you, Charlie. And thank you so much, Greg and Alpa. I keep muting everybody because I know there's a lot of background noise. So, we want to just make sure that our audience, our live audience, and that everybody who's watching on replay is getting the most out of the show. And you're listening to Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur. And today we have guest Charlie Freak on our weekly show on Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we thank you so much for joining in. Please make sure that you are sharing this video, tagging your friends, and most importantly, bookmarking so that you can join us again next Friday. You can also message us on Team Charlie Freak if you want to be part of our show. We've got all the information in the comments, so make sure you're tuned in, following, sharing, and sharing the light the best we can. And Charlie's PayPal is back up, so make sure you are doing the energetic transfer should you be so called to do. So thank you. And Laura X is there, and Adriana is back. Did I say your name right this time around?
Yep.
Hey, thank you.
No, wrong.
Thank you so much, everybody. We've got lots of questions, and I just want to address something. Last week, we received a lot of emails saying that they want a copy of the Bible. So we're going to figure out a way to get that to you. Just stay tuned. We're going to have a discussion with Charlie Freak, and make sure you subscribe to the newsletter on sexybrilliant.com so that you can we're going to be sending you the Bible through that as well. So there we go. Greg, any thoughts before we move on to the next segment? Hello? Can you hear me, Greg? We can't hear you. Hi, Laura X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Greg,
Can
your
you
turn.
hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. She's muted.
We can hear you now, Greg.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me.
We can
Okay.
hear you now.
All right. Look.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say to the audience, with everything going on and going back to what, okay. And just wanted to say to the audience, and going back to what Alpa said about everything, about the legality of everything and the amount of mountains that they're moving right now, and that oh, you can hear me now? Okay. I just wanted to go back, and I wanted to let the audience know. You can hear me now? Okay. All right. I just wanted to go back and let the audience know that with everything going on right now, and with the legality of everything going on right now, and the mountains that we're moving right now, and with the amount just going on, listen, everyone, anything is possible with God. Anything. I still implore people to take a step back, relax. Okay? Take a step back and relax. All right? And allow this to play out. You want to see how amazing God is? Take a step back and let him work.
Okay, guys, can you hear us? I think we're having some tech issues. Let us know in the comments. And I know Kenzo's here. Kenzo, by the way, we're all seem to be animal lovers. Isn't that true? Kenzo is Alpa's doggy. Look at that. He's so cute. Hi, Kenzo. Oh, my goodness. Woo! So look at that. Look at all of us. We're so happy that a dog has joined our conversation. A dog, like Charlie explained last time, is the dog is when you spell it the other way, it's God. So no wonder we're feeling the energy right now. Wow. Thank you. And Andriana.
Andreina.
Sorry. You're here. So ask your question. Charlie's on air. Alpa's on air. Greg's here. Share your story.
Oh, you're talking me? Sorry. I understood Charlie. I was waiting. Oh, hi. I'm Andrena. Hi, everybody. This is actually the first time that I'm doing this, and I'm very excited to be here. Yeah, I'm Andrena. I'm from Canada. I live in Canada right now. I was born in the Dominican Republic. And just a few months ago, I decided that I was just going to take that leap of faith that we've been encouraging everybody to take and just fall deep into the hands of our Lord and just allow for things to happen into my life. And I'm here now, so everything seems to be working out fine, and I'm really excited to be sharing myself and to be sharing with you guys, and yeah.
Thank you so much. And you were telling me that you did not like Trump, but now you are starting to understand a little bit about that. So you can share your story if you want.
Yes, I'll share about that. So just a few weeks ago, I went to a friend's house, and there was this lady there that was telling me, Trump is a good guy, she's like, he's making a lot of positive changes, and she was just very positive about Trump. To be honest, in my experience, it was the first time that I was around somebody who was so positive about President Trump. And so it really allowed me to have a different perspective on things. And starting on that day, I stepped back within myself and I reflected on my ideas about Trump and where they actually came from and why I had set those ideas for myself. And I came to realize that those ideas came pretty much from media and from what everybody else around me told me about Trump, or from little pieces of his speech that he would say that would sound wrong, and it was put onto the media, and we would only hear about all of these negative things. So I realized that I based my idea on Trump based on what other people had the idea of him, and it was like the people around me, most of the people had a negative idea of him. So I based myself on that. And so then I came to realize that I was wrong for doing that, because first of all, I have very little information on this man, on his values, on the ways that he does things, on how he treats people around him. And so who am I to start judging him? And I have never even done any research on this man. I was just, I will admit it, like kind of like hating on him and being like, I don't like this man, I don't want anything to do about it. And then I actually took the time to listen to the presidential debates. And he starts off, and excuse me, I don't have a lot of information on this, like I mentioned before, but he just started off, the person who was kind of like the intermediary between him and Biden, right off the bat started not being aggressive towards him, but right away started kind of being against him. So he mentioned how he felt that the debate was against this man rather than against Biden, but he was expecting that from them to, be pushing him from the beginning. So when I saw that, it just pretty much made me see him from another point of view, how he just walked into that stage and he just arrived, and right away they were, kind of going against him. And so from that point, it allowed me to start seeing him from a different eye and to really question myself on why I was actually judging him in the first place. So I did watch your 43-minute video, Charlie, and it really started to make me question myself as to why I was seeing him in that way, and if my opinion was actually mine or it was based on what everybody else around me was saying. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And you know, we're all somewhere or the other exposed to the media, and the media tells us what they want us to believe, which is they want us to stop thinking for ourselves. And you know, the most important thing is, I mean, there's this woke community is growing. It's ever growing, but we still have a lot of more work to do. So, you know, stay strong, my soldiers. It's a war of love and light and peace and a better world. And they haven't made it easy for us, but we're going to get there. And one of the ways we do it is first we take care of ourselves, what we need, you know, and then we give back. Service to others is the agenda. And when we do that, you know, the world becomes a better place. So Charlie, please take it over.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Alpa and Greg were both jumping when they heard that the beautiful message, Devina, because what you're saying is the answer. It's the answer, and it's the way. You had to have the courage to go, hey, wait a minute, is this my thought, or is it somebody else's thought that I think is my thought, that I think is the truth? Like I said, when we started to come to realize that, wait a minute, California has continued to vote Republican the whole way through, and that they've continued to cling to conservative family-based values, then it flies in the face of everything that they have told us, that they have demonstrated, that they have hit us over the head with, this false narrative. So that's brilliant. What you said is brilliant, because you said, oh, wait a minute, I need to take a step back and observe. I need to observe and to find out what is actually real with yourself. And that's just, oh my goodness, I just was when you said that, because that's everything. That's the answer. That's the way. And that's what most people are going to find in the coming months, is that, yeah, why did I hate Trump so much? Like what was it? Was there a smoking gun, or was it I was just kind of told that's what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to hate this guy. And then that's so important, because then people are going to start to go, now what else is a lie? What else has been a lie? What else?
Everything has been a lie. And, you know, Charlie is on a pause, but Alpa, please come online. And, you know, we're so grateful you're here, guys. I mean, just your presence is what makes this world a better place, and this energy exchange. Beautiful. Thank you, Alpa. And I know you have to go shortly, so please tell everybody how everybody can find you and how we can support you.
Hey, I'll mention that in a second, but I just wanted to commend Andrea for sharing what you shared with us, because like I said earlier on, I'm a Facebook assassin, and you can find me on my own channel, Alpa Soni, on YouTube. That's the only sort of social media channels I'm on. But to hear stuff like what you've shared with us today is so validating, because there's people like myself and Greg who are like literally charging ahead in this truth community, come what may. And to hear what you say really hits home, because this is the reason why I was doing all of this, to actually say, hang on a minute, use your own brain and say, everybody else is sort of saying this man is not good, he's this, he's that. But what do I think? And am I going with it because everybody else is telling me? No, I'm going inward and I'm checking in with myself. And this is what this journey is, the journey towards self. Self-actualization is such a beautiful journey. And I applaud you for sharing that and having the guts to say that, because it's not easy. It really isn't easy where you've got, like, say, 90% of the people against you within your own networks, within your own communities. And to be brave and say this to everyone and share your journey, to explain to us that, hey, hang on a minute, I never liked him because it was everybody else that was saying that. And we have to learn to deprogram ourselves from this cabal constructed paradigms, from these kind of teachings, everything that we think we know. I always say one thing before I leave: I know nothing. I humble myself and learn from all of you guys. Yeah, I miss things out. I don't get it all right. I'm researching. I'm just like you, Andrea. Like, I came up appalled with the things that I found out, and I just grew this voice. I mean, I'm not really one to speak on, like, the public fraternity. I never liked it, but this is the time, and this is the place, and this is that moment in history where we'll look back and say, what side of history were we on? What did we do during what is, Charlie explains very well in one of his previous podcasts, that this is a war that we're going through. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that. I really enjoyed listening to you. And Charlie, Greg, Devina, as always, you're a brilliant host. I love you. Sorry, guys, I have to go. I've got another show in 5 minutes. So everyone listening, thank you very much, and have a great evening further ahead.
Hi, everybody. Make sure that you are connecting to everybody who's here. Charlie Freak, of course, and Galactic Greg, as well as Andriana. Make sure that you're supporting each other in the best of your capacity. So we also have a Facebook group, and I just shared the link here. Let me try. Make sure you're subscribing to the Facebook group on Freak Sense World. It's right here, Freak Sense World, so that you can share information, be the first ones to get updates, as well as find out what's really going on. Charlie, just let Charlie speak for an hour. What is this? Okay, sorry about that. Thank you, everybody. Okay, sorry, that was a troll, but sometimes we lose it too, eh? We don't always know. The conversations go by really fast. But having said that, I want to make another announcement for those of you who are just joining in. Today only, the book Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious is available for free on Amazon. Make sure that you are checking it out. This is a book about spirituality, self-help, workbook, and it starts with self-knowledge and self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance. So tune in for the book. Lots of good teachings in it. Charlie, back over to you. So I think we're having a little bit of...
asked a lot.
Okay, Charlie, we can hear you.
Okay, it's getting asked a lot, and I dealt with it yesterday. It's something that's this. Remember, and it's just exercise of one-upsmanship. So, did you hear what Trudeau just did in Canada, or what he just announced, or what came? All these different countries, and what's happening is that you're actually death. Remember, leave it. So in he's dying or before the collapse, the fullness of their evil has to be. This is what you're getting.
Charlie, I'm so sorry.
With regard,
we cannot hear you.
President Trump.
Can you log out and log in again? Oops. Yes. So, Greg, can you hear us?
Okay, now.
Yes. Hi. So guys, Charlie doesn't have a very good bandwidth because he does live in a remote part of Mexico where they run an animal sanctuary. So I apologize to everybody for that, but these are technical issues that are out of our control. And having said that, make sure that you're sharing the goodness in all of it, because Charlie and Colleen attack all the time, and they're still serving us to the
Can
So,
you hear me?
You go on, please.
Me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Marie.
My husband wants to say hi too. This is Danny.
Hi guys, thank you so much for your input. Rock and roll. Here we go.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much. And how are you feeling, Marie?
Great.
Yeah.
Better than ever. I'm also in Mexico, so we're like, fresh out of the pool and eating our fresh fruit and doing life. It's just such a beautiful thing. And I love Charlie and I love Colleen and I love you guys. Just the thought of you brings me such joy and such peace. And nowadays, there's just so much happening. And I love you. I love you guys so much. Like my heart is so full. And I've just wanted to come in here and say I've had an amazing week. I had a really just incredible opportunity with my business, and a few people really coming at me with a lot of like negative energy and thinking that I've totally become a racist overnight because I can see the light in our beautiful President Trump. And I'm so excited for everything that he's done for all of us, each and every one of us. And I just feel so grateful for that I felt compelled to share that. And a lot of people in my community have not been very receptive to that. And I've been chatting with Charlie and Colleen this week. They've been so helpful. But I just wanted to open the conversation into a place where we can really up our game spiritually in terms of practicing detachment and defenselessness. And I would love to hear what Charlie has to say about that, because I know for me this week, these are like people that I've loved and nurtured and supported for like 15 years. And overnight, all of a sudden, I've been propagandized and I'm like a crazy person and I'm a fascist and a Marxist and, and they're going to leave my company and they want me to leave it's just like totally went crazy. And through it all, I do want to say this as well, a testament to fruit and the power of being a frugivore is that through all of the stress this week, which was immense for me, like the level of energy, the betrayal, the heartache, all of it, I don't know how I kept it together. And the only thing I can attribute it to was the extra glucose in my system from all the fruit and all of the fresh juice that just kept me kind of like centered through it all. And seeing my friends and my colleagues, their fear, letting them go through it, but not going into the shame. It's like they wanted me to be ashamed of myself for speaking out publicly around politics when I'm a yoga teacher and I'm not supposed to be choosing sides on this. It was like so much projection and everything. And I'm not saying it was easy, but I will say 6 months ago, I think my stress levels would have been totally crazy. And I'm also in a teacher training. So it was like I still was teaching. I was still being the light, being the love. And I really think it had a lot to do with the diet, had a lot to do with the work that Colleen and Charlie are sharing with us. And I'm just so grateful to be inspired. I feel like I've always been the one like teaching and inspiring and doing my own work, obviously the best of my ability, but to have you guys kind of leading the way for us and demonstrating, what it is to kind of take the hits. I mean, like you're saying things that are so opposite what all of us have been trained to believe. And I know it's true. Like, I just know it. I don't get it all right now, but I know it. And I just want to acknowledge you for that. And I also want to know anything else you have for us in terms of just being defenseless and detached from other people's fears, being compassionate, anything that you had on that. I just wanted to share that, and just really so much gratitude and so much love for each and every one of you that are speaking the truth right now. It's not an easy gig. It's not an easy understanding either, because it really is a transformational, it's alchemical. Everything is changing. I literally had a full body activation this morning in my meditation. My entire body was like vibrating, and I was just like, just breathing, just letting it be. Yeah, it's incredible. I can't say anything other than just wow. So grateful. I hope that made sense. I'm going to stop talking now. I love you.
Thank you.
And
And
can you guys hear
I
me okay?
resonate so much. So thank you so much. We can hear you, Charlie.
Okay, I'm gonna just to protect the
I just want to say something for
audio
those of you who can hear
of
us.
this. So
Yes, good idea, Charlie. You mentioned that we are currently going through our dark days, so maybe that's why we don't have internet. It's all possible. We haven't had internet here in Canada. It's been glitchy, tech issues. So Charlie, and I ask everybody to be patient, our live viewers as well as people who are on the replay. So thank you for that. Charlie, can you hear us? And Diana, maybe you want to add something to that. Charlie, are you back?
If I wanted to add something about...
Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you, Charlie, yes.
Yeah. Audrey, if you can talk to that as well. Again, saying earlier about going within yourself and to an understanding of whether it's actually actual gnosis or an idea that somebody else do. And I think that the thing is that you have a group that are independent, and that relates to that earlier, which is level of ascension. All is your other uncles the promised land that's for long. So this from what other people are saying, and to yourself, and begin to observe. So we'll just have maybe our Adrana of then and discover what you feel your truth.
Sorry, Charlie, we actually we couldn't hear all of that very clearly. I think it might be some tech issues because we're all facing them today. So are you here, Charlie? So, wow, Charlie.
Can you?
It's buffering quite a bit, Charlie. Let's okay.
Yeah,
So
if
Greg, maybe you want to say something while we're waiting for Charlie to reboot and re-enter the studio.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Well, in regards to the spiritual journey that we're all on right now, this is the first time. I just want to make it clear that this is the first time that we're not only spiritually ascending, but we're also physically ascending as well. Not just as a not just as a planet, but also as a collective. So there is a lot of heavy lifting to do, not just without, but also within. Okay. And that's why a lot of us are dealing with these, immense, ascension symptoms and, DNA upgrades and all these things that we have not usually felt on a normal basis, because this is not a normal time. This is not an ordinary time. This is an extraordinary time. There are extraordinary things happening, not just here on the earth plane, but above us. God is working through the heavens and the earth, for he is the creator of the heavens and the earth. Therefore, he works through the heavens and the earth. Okay. So this is a massive, 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 massive thing. And this is no easy task. We have an evil that has reigned upon this earth for at least 6,000 plus years. It has integrated into every aspect of our daily lives, including our hearts, minds, and souls. Okay, it's had us by the balls for only God knows how long. Like I said, 6,000 plus years at least. Okay, so this is not just getting rid of the bad guys. This is not just James Bond coming in and shooting up the bad guys and saving the day. It doesn't work that way. Okay, because James Bond can come in only once and get rid of the bad guys, but there's going to be more, and there's going to be more, and there's going to be more, and it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper than that. Okay, I like to look at this kind of like Gotham City. Okay, no matter what Batman did, there was always still an issue. There was always still an issue. Always an issue. And I've posted this on my page. If you watch the Dark Knight trilogies, which is directed by a white hat director, Christopher Nolan, you will actually see that journey. And in the end, not to give it away for those who haven't seen it, but in the end, the very step that Bruce Wayne takes to finally defeat the cabal, so to say, of Gotham City, is that he stops fighting for himself and fights for the city. He fights for the people. As he says in that final fight, he told Bane, who represents the bane of our existence, our demons, our inner demons, those addictions, those things that we just cannot, get rid of. He said, "No, I'm not here to save the city. I'm here to stop you. I'm here to stop those demons that have been holding me down and keeping me confused and making me fight for myself rather than fighting for everyone else, for fighting for each other." Okay. So this is just an incredible, incredible undertaking. We are literally rebirthing Gotham City. And we're doing it from the absolute ground up, from the core. You can't just cut this tree down and expect to move on, because the roots will remain, and the roots run far, vast, and deep. Very, very, very deep. They go deeper than you could possibly imagine. We don't even fully know how deep they go. We don't know. This is going to take, I believe that this transition will be, at the very least, it'll be 5 years, but it'll be a 10-year process before we can finally look at one another and say, okay, whew, never, ever, ever again. Never again. Never again.
Thank you so much. And this is true. The thing to keep in mind, can everybody hear me? And the thing to keep in mind is that we are a collective. Our consciousness is rising together, and we happen to be at the forefront. We're like volunteers, by walking the true path, by doing what is our dharma, our duty. We are then co-creating a new world. So it's so important that we stay balanced, stillness, silence, eating the right food, connecting to our spiritual self, and then our higher purpose, higher self. That's what it's all about, guys. And it's not about like leaving people behind. We take as many as we can. But first, we have to lead the path. And as hard as it is, and I know this happened to me as well, when I started just being different, whether that was with Sexy Brilliant, whether that was with supporting Trump, whether that was with, leaving my banking job. Every time I've done something different, I have had to go through a lot of personal changes. And changes, I would mean that people who are not in that energetic flow, they just fall off the bandwagon. Like literally, that's what it is. And as we move up higher and higher, the right people will join us. I mean, look at us. Today we're here. So many of us are here. So your job is to stay focused on your own path, the right path. Seek answers, ask the questions. Don't hesitate to go be different, and don't hesitate to just, be the first one to lead the path. Because what we do it's so difficult, it's so hard, but it's the right thing to do. And I know this is painful, but we're all volunteers, so we might as well have fun while we're volunteering, right? Does that help?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, and it looks like we've lost Charlie Freak, and we'll wait a few more minutes to come back, for Charlie to come back. But I just want to remind everybody that Charlie Freak runs an animal sanctuary and lives in the remote part of Mexico. Does not have the bandwidth, and he's always constantly blocked from sharing his messages. The dark forces block him. So let's be a little bit patient in the meantime. And those of you who may not know me, my name is Devina Kaur, and I'm the founder of Sexy Brilliant Nonprofit Foundation. Our social mission is to remove toxic shame and raise human consciousness. And I do happen to be a published author. So, author of a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. And it is available for free on ebook today. So the link is here on screen. Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. You can look for it on Amazon. You can look for my name. And just a spiritual self-help book, which starts with self-knowledge and self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance. So we're going to go to the end of the show. Any other questions? Maria, Greg, anything to add? Yes, Greg, go ahead, please. Greg, you need to unmute. And can somebody please drop Charlie's PayPal information right here, because we're going to share that on screen.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to end the show today with this, and I want this to be shared amongst the collective today. And myself and Charlie and Alpa and even Devina, we often talk about how God has created us all perfect in his image, and we are all perfect in his image. We are beings of light, but unfortunately, we are trapped in this human vessel. So therefore, we are flawed. We are imperfect in this human vessel. However, God will always and often chooses the imperfect vessel to do his work. And I will leave you with this today. God deliberately chooses imperfect vessels, those who have been wounded, those who with physical or emotional limitations. Then he prepares them to serve and send them out with their weakness still evident, so that his strength can be made perfect in that weakness. That, dear ones, that beloveds, is exactly what we are doing. We are being made perfect through that weakness. We are showing ourselves, we are speaking our truths, we are standing in our authentic spaces. We are showing ourselves for who we are, and through that, we are becoming stronger. We are healing. And we are doing this through the Creator, through God. And I wanted to leave that with you all today. Yes, you are the imperfect vessel, but you are chosen by God, and you are perfect in his image. So need not worry about your imperfections of humanity. Need not worry about that. Please don't worry about that, because you'll just remain in a toxic space. just know that you are a child of God in an imperfect vessel, but through that imperfect vessel, you will do God's work and you will become stronger. So I just wanted to leave that with the collective today. God bless you all. I love you all. And Devina, again, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Greg. I just shared your email address as well. And
Thank
before you leave, do you have a few minutes to just close the show with the Sexy Brilliant Empowerment cards?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm just dropping a message. So, and guys, these cards are available on sexybrilliant.org. We are a registered nonprofit foundation. So here we go. Ready for today's cards? Greg, choose a number from 1 to 40.
1 to 40.
Yeah.
I'll pick 11.
Yay! So I'm going to put that right here. This is the message, guys. This is an empowerment card. Focus on sexy brilliant. Like, right? You pick the card. And this is so true. It says happy people are sexy.
Yeah.
Life is short. Smile more. Eat like you love yourself. Have more self-love, i.e. sex. Laugh 100 times a day. Dance in the rain. Life is a gift to enjoy. Choose to be in good spirits and stay true to who you are. So beautiful message. Thank you so much, Greg. And as we end, Maria, a card for you. Pick a number. And thank you, Greg. I have dropped Greg's information on the chat here, so make sure you're connecting to Greg. Greg, feel free to just say something about where people can find you.
Okay, yeah, everyone, you can find me on Facebook. It is a private page, but if you send a friend request, I will overlook it and will accept you. I'm overwhelmed with messages and love and friend requests right now, so I'm getting to it. I have to go through 819 of them right now, so you have to give me a little bit of time. I'm also on MeWe at Galactic Greg 1111 and on Parler at Galactic Greg 333. And I also set up a private email address at galacticgreg1111@gmail.com. And that way we can connect. It can be private. It can be, more interpersonal. I can answer your questions. And once again, if I don't get back to you right away, please understand that I have seen it, and I'm going to do it in the time so that I can give you the time so that I can answer your questions properly. I don't want to rush through anything, So if I don't answer you right away, just hang on. If you give me the time, I will give you the time. So
thank you, Greg. We love you.
Thank you.
So let's continue with our Sexy Brilliant cards, and Laura's here. Laura, can you hear us? So Maria, your turn to pick a card. 1 to 40, what do you choose? Bye, Greg.
17.
Woohoo! You know what? I love 17. It's one of my favorite numbers.
17 for Q.
Yay! And guys, choose your card. Laura, it's your turn. I'm just pulling these cards. These cards are available on sexybrilliant.com. We are a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame. So make sure that you are subscribed on the email list and getting all the first ones to get all the information. So the card that Maria chose today, it is Healthy Boundaries.
Nice.
Yeah, and very aligned with what you were talking about today, right? Where we're starting to lose friends and things are different. So healthy, sexy boundaries. Setting boundaries takes courage and practice. Healthy boundaries allow us to truly respect ourselves. They keep our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being healthy and help us stay sexy and brilliant. Limits can be set in all parts of our lives. Healthy boundaries help increase our confidence.
Nice. Thank you.
Yay, beautiful. Thank you so much. And I hope today's show was helpful, guys. I know that Charlie's not here. I apologize for that. But it's the dark days. We're going through the dark days, as Charlie has mentioned earlier. I know that not here. And Adriana.
I just want to say goodbye.
Thank you, Maria.
I love you guys. Keep it real. I'll come back and play next week too.
Okay, bye.
Ciao. Bye-bye. Nice to meet you, Lovey.
Your turn to choose the card. What card number?
I want card number 33.
Card number 33. Okay, I'm going to go
Yes.
backwards, okay? And guys, those of you who are just joining in, these cards are available on sexybrilliant.com. We are a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame and raise human consciousness. So here we go. It says, brilliant mistakes. Wow. It is more than okay to make mistakes. All people face challenges, and challenges help us learn and grow. Far better to try and fail and then never to try at all. So when we fail, we must love ourselves for our courage and keep trying. So
Wow. So in alignment, this card. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, guys, our job is to take care of ourselves, set boundaries, and then from there we first we help ourselves and then we help others. Thank you, Adriana, for coming on the show. And we hope to see you back soon. So please let us know how we find you.
Yes. So actually, I hadn't used social media for the last 8 months, and I recently got back on it because I felt the call to do it. So you can find me on Instagram. I will send my Instagram account there. It's I am Andreina Colon. So I am, and then ANDREINA is my first name, and then Colon is COLON is my last name. And you can also email me at this is Andreina. So this is ANDREINA@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, and we hope to see you. And thank you for joining our show. Bye now.
Thank you so much. Bye.
And last card before we close the show, guys. And I know that maybe Charlie will come back. So we are pulling card number 3. Let's do it. Last card for today. And card number 3. Hot vulnerability. Can you guys see that? It says, vulnerability means showing our authentic self. And it attracts similar people to our life. Live life and be willing to show your gentle side. The right people will love you for it. Revealing our true self empowers us, and our appeal is grounded in openness, sharing, and listening. So beautiful, guys. And these cards, the Sexy Brilliant Empowerment cards, are now available on sexybrilliant.com. Make sure that you're signed up. And those of you who are just joining in, so this book, Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, is available for free today only on Amazon, and you can find the links are attached in the comments below. So once again, thank you so much for joining in. We love you. And I want to say thank you on behalf of Charlie. I'm messaging them, but they don't have internet right now. So once again, please share this message and join us next Friday. We'll be doing this again, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you and much love to everybody who's here. Bye. And sign up for emails on sexybrilliant.com, a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame. And my name is Devina Kaur. Namaste. Bye.